The rain poured relentlessly as Claire sat alone in her dimly lit apartment. She stared at the antique mirror that had been her grandmother's parting gift, a relic so ancient it felt alive. Its ornate golden frame gleamed as though it had secrets waiting to be unearthed. Claire had avoided the mirror for years. It wasn't the kind of avoidance born from superstition, it was avoidance of herself. No matter how successful she appeared to the world, deep inside, she carried wounds she couldn't face. One stormy night, the lights flickered. The power went out, leaving her in darkness except for a faint glow emanating from the mirror. Startled, Claire approached it, her heart pounding in her chest. As she reached out to touch it, a voice, familiar yet distant, whispered, "Why do you fear me?" Claire gasped, stumbling backward. "Who's there?" The surface of the mirror rippled, and to her horror, her reflection stepped out. But it wasn't her current self. It was a younger version of her, raw and vulnerable, with tears streaming down her face. "You know who I am," the reflection said, her voice trembling with a mix of sorrow and hope. "I am you, the part you've abandoned." Claire's breath hitched. "This isn't real. This can't be real." The reflection shook her head. "It's as real as the pain you carry. You've spent years running from me, burying your hurt and silencing your voice. But tonight you must choose. Will you face me or continue hiding?" Tears welled up in Claire's eyes as the memories she had buried flooded her mind. The heartbreak of a love lost, the sting of cruel words spoken by those she trusted, the endless self-inflicted pressure to be perfect in a world that demanded more than she could give. "I don't know how to face you," Claire whispered. Her reflection stepped closer, her voice softening. "You start by forgiving yourself. Forgive yourself for not being perfect, for the mistakes, for believing the lies the world told you. Then, you learn to speak to yourself with kindness. You're worthy, not because of what you do, but because of who you are." Claire collapsed to her knees, her chest heaving with sobs. For the first time, she allowed herself to feel, not just the pain, but also the possibility of healing. The reflection knelt beside her, touching her hand. Loving yourself isn't a destination, it's a journey. But every journey begins with one step. Let this be yours. The storm outside quieted, and as Claire looked up, the reflection merged back into the mirror, leaving behind a radiant, peaceful image of herself. The next morning, Claire stood before the mirror, no longer afraid. For the first time, she saw more than her flaws. She saw her resilience, her courage, and her worth. She whispered softly, "I forgive you, I love you, and I'll never leave you again."